What's up, everybody?
Hey, guys.
Welcome to the Tug of More.
Man, so glad that you are here joining us for another episode.
That's right.
Of the Tug of More.
Yep, just two friends having a conversation.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
Dude, we're talking about this tension of like where we are right now in contrast to where we want to be.
Yes.
I don't know about you, but I have great aspirations for my life, for my leadership, for my family, for my health, for my finance.
Yeah.
I have great aspirations, but I am where I am.
That's right. There's where we are, there's where we want to be, and there's a giant fight tension between it, which is the Tug of More.
Tug of More. So
right.
Glad you're here. You know, we always say we're just two friends.
That's right.
But it's pretty incredible.
It's
that we're
two friends. Yeah, no, I think it's great.
You look at us and you think these two should not be friends for a myriad of reasons.
That's right.
Including that, like, if you hadn't noticed, Whitney's a girl and I'm a dude.
That's right.
We're not married to each other.
Nope.
But yet our families have walked through a lot together and processed that what if when the Bible calls us brothers and sisters in Christ, that we can be friends with people that we aren't married to?
What if? What an incredible idea. And that I feel like Jesus actually showed us by example. He had women he was friends with.
Yeah.
He actually never got married, which I think in today's world would even be more scandalous to be a single dude friends with ladies, right?
Yes.
But yet he gave us this example, and that's what he called us to be, I believe, brothers and sisters in Christ.
Before I got married, I had a lot of girl friends, females that I was not dating or trying to hook up with or whatever.
Right.
Girls that were my friends.
Yeah.
And then I got married, and then you're not allowed to have any other... That was not Rachel rules. That was like...
Societal rules.
Societal Christian church rules that if you're now married, you're only allowed to have one female that is in any proximity to you other than your mom or ladies that are 85.
But it's not just... I mean, I think it's high church culture. High Christian Jesus.
This is not what we're talking about today.
No.
We just stumbled into it.
Yeah, but like the high church rule culture is what we've talked about before. Billy Graham rule: I will never be alone with a woman who's not my wife.
Yeah.
But then societal culture.
Yeah.
I mean, When Harry Met Sally is like the never-ending question of like, can men and women really ever?
Which was that? Is that Ben Stiller?
No, that's Meg Ryan and.
Nope.
The guy who I can't ever think of his, but
no, I got
you. Somebody, I don't know his name.
Billy Ray Cyrus?
No, I can't remember his name.
Yeah, no, yeah, and
in the end, they fall in love and get married because the whole like premise that society believes is men and women cannot just be friends.
Well, there's
always have to fall in love.
There's this Steve Harvey clip. Should we clip it in?
Well, sure. I don't know what it is.
Clip it.
All of my friends are men. I don't have female friends. I don't. I'm incapable of that.
Why? What do you mean?
Well, because come on.
Because you have a wife.
Well, I have a wife, and I don't really have female friends because look. Okay, let's get rid of this myth right here. Okay, I'm gonna tell you this. Let's get rid of this right here. You're an attractive woman. There's some guy somewhere saying, "Yeah, we're friends." No, that's not true. He's your friend only because you have made it absolutely clear that nothing else is happening except this friendship we have. We remain your friends in hopes that one day there'll be a crack in the door, a chink in the armor, and trust and believe that guy that you think is just your buddy, he will slide in that crack the moment he gets the opportunity.
Because
we're
most
guys.
Men think this way?
99.9% of us think that way.
In the Steve Harvey clip, he's talking about how he's like, oh, no. Now, he might say a swear word. Oh, I don't know. We'll have to edit around
bleep it. Can you bleep it?
Where he's like, no, I can't be friend with a woman.
Right.
He's like, if I'm a friend with a woman, it's because I'm trying to work something out with a woman.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, but is that always true? Because there's lots of women I'm not friends with.
Correct. There's lots of dudes that I am not going to be friends with.
There's some women that I'm not only not friends with, but I am afraid of. This morning at the gym.
Oh, no.
This morning, my workout partner can attest to this.
Okay.
We're on the back machine pulling. Mm-hmm. And this lady who we always see at the gym, and she like always is real friendly, and like talks to us. And she comes and she stands like right next to me and she's like, hey, don't even talk to me today. I was like, what? Okay. She's like, it's just one of those days, It's one of those days that I just want to bite somebody's head off. And she's like, so you might not want to talk to me. But like she's saying it like not sexy, but like flirtatious.
Yeah.
And I look at my dude I work out with, and he looks at me. He's like, And so I was like, I'm not even asking.
No.
I was like, yeah, we all have some of those days. All right.
One of those
hey, I'll be praying for you.
Yeah.
You got it. I had more church. I got a more church t-shirt on. I'm not friends with her.
No, right. There's definitely men that I'm staying far away from, not even going to entertain conversation with. But that does not mean that there aren't men and women that can be friends, that God didn't create us. I think about the dynamic of the fact that we get to be in relationship with each other and the gift that it is to my life, that I can actually benefit my marriage by having male friends in my life, because I'm able to go to see a different perspective, to have other men who speak into my life, the other male perspective, so that I don't think my husband's just some crazy psycho, or I don't think that he makes me frustrated about something, but I'm a lady, he's a dude. We have different perspectives, and having male friends in my life actually illuminates that he's just a regular dude too.
Yeah, no, I think that I have helped you understand Aaron.
100%.
Because me and Aaron are friends, and we'll talk, and Aaron will tell me when you're acting crazy.
Right.
And I'll come tell you, be like, hey man, chill out off my boy. Aaron's doing a good job.
Acting crazy.
Same thing, other direction.
Right.
And that's only possible through brothers and sisters in Christ.
Absolutely.
And if you're only allowed the brothers and sisters that your actually parents bore, then man, that's tough.
Well, I didn't have any.
Me neither.
Right.
So I'm never allowed a sister?
I never had a brother.
Now, track record's a big deal.
100%.
Track record's a big deal. I'm saying.
No, right.
I'm saying.
If
you have found yourself in multiple questionable relationships, whether physically or emotionally, beyond your spouse,
right,
or even previous to your spouse, then you have to really weigh that.
Right.
I feel like for me, I had a really good handle on purity when it came to girls. Maybe not to everything I looked at, but to actual relationships.
Yeah.
I had a really good handle on purity, I think, as a younger man. And so I think that it gives me and my wife some comfort in that.
Absolutely.
And so there's some guy, everybody has a different struggle.
Right.
Right. Okay. I don't know. That's good.
No, it's good.
Just two friends. I'm just saying we say that at the top of all of our episodes.
It's a good part of the conversation that I think is important, because there is a responsibility in our dynamic to say, it's not for... Everyone is not in the place in their life where it's healthy and right for them. But if you have someone in your life that God's placed there, it doesn't mean that it's not healthy and good. You have to... Our spouses are also friends with us. You have to bring them into the conversation. But then what's really a great gift is that they're not crazy either. That we're all together friends, and God's allowed us to really tug into all the more that he has for us, because we're able to, all four of us together, say, hey, all of these people are my friends.
Yeah.
It's not just Rachel and I are friends and you and Aaron are friends.
That's true.
But that the four of us are friends together. And so that when you're like, hey... It's I know these couple friends who will say to each other, on, say, their birthday, hey, Truston, Aaron and I are so glad you're our friend. But I will genuinely say to you, I'm so glad you're my friend, because you're my friend too. You're not just our friend. And so
and Aaron is Rachel's friend.
Right. It's a real dynamic that brings so much more joy and purpose to our life. And so... if you ever wondered, how are they friends? This is how we're friends. Okay.
We need to schedule an episode where we get Aaron and Rachel back on the pod.
Yes.
We had them on a long time ago, back in the table days, in the big table days, when Truston was still wanting to write bullet points for the conversation.
Yeah.
And so they came back on.
Aaron, now you say this. Now Rachel, you say that.
And so I think they were probably, that's been 2 years.
You and I can be a little much.
I can be a little much with my plan.
I included myself in it, but we can say you're a little much. That's fine. I'm just kidding. We're both a little much.
We need to get them both.
Yeah, we need to do it again. It would be fun. Okay, so today, what are we talking about in our conversation?
Lots of stuff.
Okay.
So this Sunday is Super Bowl Sunday.
In the world.
Are you ready for some football?
Okay, that was good. Yeah.
That's back in our day when we're growing up. I don't know who he was. Some guy with a cowboy hat. Put in the comments who that guy was. He's probably a famous country singer.
I have no idea.
And I just don't know who he was.
But he would, yes, that is, football season is coming actually to an end. Pro football is the last one. The college teams finished right around New Year's. That's right, national championship.
I just look like I like football.
This is true.
I look like it, but I don't know anything. But do you know what I do know?
What?
Do you know how much money the Super Bowl makes?
Well, we figured out today a little bit.
The cheapest, worst tickets that you can get into the stadium to watch the Super Bowl, $6,000.
Crazy.
The worst seat.
Crazy.
Who knows how much the best seats are?
Right.
Stupid money. And there are how many seats?
We figured there's close to 64,000 seats.
64,000 seats times $6,000 is like 384 million. Dude, I'm a mathematical genius.
And I don't even know if that includes like
384 million. Am I even saying that number right?
Yeah, that's right.
You know how many churches I could build for
That is not including the food. That is not including
We could surpass
the
Craig Rochelle if we had $384 million.
That's ridiculous.
I'll do 50 campuses right now.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm smart enough to do it.
No, well, I mean, I don't know if you're called to do that, but
Dang, she left me with a I don't know. I said, I'm not smart enough. And Whitney said, yeah, I don't know. I believe in you, brother.
Sorry, I believe in you so much. God has called me to be your sister in Christ, but also to say, hey, that's crazy. That's a lot of money. But not to mention the food and the sweets.
Oh, you know that they're spending money at the Super Bowl.
Merch and
if you spend $6,000 for one ticket, you're actually probably spending 12 because ain't nobody going alone.
Nobody's going by themselves.
$12,000.
You got to get there. Hotels.
How much money are you spending while you're at the game?
So much money.
Another $1,000
at least.
You're just buying hats and shirts.
$20 program.
$20 pretzel.
Ugh, good grief.
So
some people, did you know this? Some people don't even go to the game. They just go to the city to be a part of the game. Like that they just hang out. It's like tailgating.
They stand in the parking lot.
Or go to the area bars and clubs and places.
They go to Hooters.
For sure. Hooters. That's what it is. This is what we think.
We almost took our staff to
No, we did not. Almost. What are you about to say?
What is the name of the place? It's not Twin Peaks. It's another one.
I don't know.
But there's another one that has one of those names.
Oh, yeah. What was that place?
It has one of those names that you're like,
I have no idea.
That's a weird name for a restaurant.
It's like but then Dirty Cowboy or something. It was called something weird.
Anyways,
I don't remember.
As staff, we were like, hey, maybe we could all go there for dinner.
Nope.
And one of the guys was like,
Concrete
Concrete Cowboy.
Concrete Cowboy. That's what it is.
One of the guys was like, Pastor,
we cannot go there.
I don't think that you should go there. I'm glad that we didn't. But it would have been a really funny story. Okay.
We have tried to go to a restaurant that also fronted as a strip club remember that time?
Have we ever told that story?
I don't think so.
Oh, dude, this is a story worth telling.
Yeah, go.
Shout out to my boy Tim's podcast.
Yes.
Story worth telling.
Yes.
So we were in New York.
Yeah.
The four of us, speaking of us being friends, we're in New York because Rachel and I would have never went to New York.
No.
Because it does not seem like a fantastic vacation destination.
Even though
I'm still not sure that it was.
In the world.
So we go to New York, and I want a tomahawk.
Yes, this is your favorite steak.
Not a scalpel. Not 1829.
It's like a giant bone, and it looks like
giant steak. And so I'm looking for a restaurant that sells tomahawk steak.
It's prehistoric looking.
It's very
That's
prehistoric.
why you like it.
Yeah, it's very murder and conquer.
Yes. Okay, go.
And so I look, and every restaurant in New York that has a tomahawk steak is charging over $300.
Oh, crazy.
For this steak. And I'm like, man, I can't do that.
We can get it in Fort Worth for $150.
Yeah, so I'm on yelping around, looking for a place to find it. And I find this restaurant that has a tomahawk for like $100. And it's like 80 ounces of steak.
Yeah.
And so the four of us have gotten a tomahawk before, and we just split it amongst everybody. Yeah. Except I get my photo first with it, giant steak.
Yeah, like you're eating the whole thing.
And so we get a Uber to drive us to the steakhouse. And I'm reading the reviews and everything looks good. And the place is called Primal Cuts.
Primal Cuts, like animal meat cuts.
It's about to be legit.
Yeah,
I'll go to Primal Cuts.
Right.
And so we take the Uber there, and the four of us get out, and there's a doorman.
Well,
it's just that this doorman is 6'5".
Yeah.
300 pounds, bald, missing a couple teeth. And he had bags under his eyes.
He's wearing like a suit, like a full suit, and we're in like New York, just like tourist clothes,
sneakers.
Yeah, sneakers and like.
Whitney's got a fanny pack.
Yeah,
she's got a fanny pack over in the corner today.
We got it.
Looks like Grimace.
Hey, now
y'all remember Grimace?
Because it's blue.
Yeah, y'all remember Grimace?
Ridiculous from McDonald's.
Yeah, it looks like Grimace.
That works.
And so we go there and we say to the guy at the door, we go, "Hey, what's up, man? We're here for the tomahawk.
Well, he's like looking us kind of up and down, but not in the like, hey girl, what's up? But like in the, ooh, what do you look like?
No, not ew. He's confused.
He's looking at us like, well, but like kind of like, y'all don't look like you belong here.
And so we say, yeah, man, we're just here. We're going to get the tomahawk for dinner.
Yeah. And so he was like, oh, well, and he like kind of gets awkward. And so then he says to you, I don't know if you know.
Well, no, right about this time.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
The door opens.
Yeah.
And out walk 2 daughters of the Lord.
Yes. The sisters in Christ.
But they are dressed like women of the night.
That's what I was going to say. My grandpa would have said they were women of the night. That's what my grandpa would have said.
These 2 girls walk out in the kind of clothes that they have on display at Condom Sense.
Oh my God. Okay, so
or
all
those,
of a sudden,
those sex shops.
Okay, we're gonna move on. What?
You know how they put the mannequin in some freaky lingerie? So these 2 chicks walk out,
and the doorman says to us, I don't know if you guys know this, but really, this place doubles as a strip club.
Right, and he said, if you go in this door, this is the door to Primal Cuts, the steakhouse.
Yeah.
But see that door over there, and down the way, there's a door with a little awning. I don't remember the name of the club.
I don't remember.
That's Naked Ladies Are Us.
Yeah,
if you going over there.
And he said we just have it as Primal Cuts so that businessmen can come here and then their credit card statement can say that they ate at a steakhouse, not at a strip club. And we were like, wait, so are they separated restaurants? Are they different spaces? And he's like, oh, you're going to see some naked people.
He was like, well, we could sit you in a booth where you wouldn't really. And then he's like, well... Actually,
you're going to see some naked people.
They're all walking around.
Yeah.
And so we went in. It was fantastic.
No. So instead, we said, let's go to Fogo de Chao. And you can try all the different types of cuts. And
yeah, so we left and we went to Fogo de Chao. The steak was not great.
No, it was very disappointing.
Packed. We had to wait in line for an hour.
Texas Day Brazil knows what's up.
We should have just...
gone to McDonald's.
No. We should have just kept walking around to find that lobster place.
Oh, yeah. I like that place.
There's a whole other story.
That's a different story. But
what were we even talking about? How did we get there?
Super Bowl.
Oh, Super Bowl.
And people go to different places in other cities for the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But for us in Texas, we've never gone to the Super Bowl. I've never gone to the Super Bowl in real life. I have celebrated historically for the last 12 years exactly the same way every year for the Super Bowl. Rain or shine. Happy season, sad season, no matter what, I have been at our church for the Super Bowl party every year for the last 12 years.
Yeah.
12? 13?
12? I don't know. So we do at our church a Super Bowl party.
Yes.
And so I don't know what we are naming the podcast today. I think we could name it something like Spiritually Unspiritual. No?
Yeah.
Like we do this event, our church does this event that's not spiritual.
Yes.
No sermon. No worship, a prayer that's like, God bless the food to our bodies, and like 8 people hear me say it. There's nothing like real spiritual about the event, but yet it produces a ton of fruit.
Yeah.
Relationally.
Yeah.
And so we just have a Super Bowl party. We invite the whole church to come, and a quarter of them do.
Yeah.
So everybody doesn't come.
No.
Some people don't give a junk about football.
Right. They don't
Some
want
people
to do
are
it.
super focused and really want to watch the game.
Yeah.
So they don't come because they know I'm acting a fool.
Do you remember 1 year? Vincent Chin is like a big shout out to Vincent and Amy.
Yeah, what's up?
He's a huge Patriots fan. And 1 year, I don't know, I'm going to get it wrong. I don't know if they won or lost. Excuse me. I don't know if they won or lost. I don't know what happened. But I remember that Vincent was there and he was trying to watch and be a part because Amy loves us, like he does too, but like
Amy's party starter, like hardcore.
Like party starter lady all over, gonna hang out with all the people. But Vincent was caring about football, so he's like sitting and watching. And I was so sad for him because there's some other dude there who I don't even know his name, who was rooting for the other team so loud. And I remember like the like, I don't know, whoever it was, the Packers? I have no idea who it was. They scored, and the guy's like, yeah. And I felt like, are you coming at my guy Vincent right now? Like, I wanted to fight the dude only because I love Vincent, and I was like, don't be trying to fight him or just heckle him. I have no idea who won or lost.
So
I don't remember.
Some people don't come because they have their own Super Bowl party.
Yeah, they don't want to get in a fight.
Or they really want to watch the game. But tons of people come to this event just to be there, just to hang out and just laugh and watch Super Bowl.
And it's super fun. And it is one of the most holy things that we do. I'm
saying, you think that as a pastor, what we should only do
are
spiritually centered things.
My husband is extremely passionate about this because he grew up loving football.
Yeah.
Like in his house, he was one of the ways he and his dad bonded. He played football. His brother played football. They watched football together. And he always talks about, because he grew up in an AAG church, similar to the type of church we grew up in, that he always says never did they have a Super Bowl party, but instead he felt like the church he grew up in, his pastor preached longer and almost to like prove the point, like Jesus is more important than football. And he's like, yeah, dude, he is. Cool. But we can enjoy things too.
Well, you know what I think about it, and we've posted for years that we'll do a Super Bowl party or other events like this.
Yeah.
And I've had other pastors or even Christians message me and say stuff about how we shouldn't do that, and the church is a holy place, and you're desecrating the altar of the Lord and all this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, but Jesus had lunch at Zacchaeus' house.
Right.
Like Jesus went to the house of a known tax collector, broke bread, hung out.
Right.
I'm sure they were laughing. Like, I can't imagine that Jesus, the Bible says there's tax collectors and prostitutes.
Right.
So he's got the chicks that walked out of Primal Cut. See what I did there?
See?
So they're all there around the table. And Jesus has got to be telling a joke or laughing or at least smiling.
Right.
He's not over there frowning and all bent out of shape.
No.
And after that moment at Zacchaeus' house, Zacchaeus' life was changed.
Right.
He gave his life to Jesus because Jesus just took some time to spend some time with him.
Absolutely.
And so for us, we do the Super Bowl party because it's an opportunity for us to not be on the stage.
Yeah.
Our leaders, our staff, our key people to not be working. We're just at the event laughing.
And we're actually able to connect them to the house where God can change their life, where God can speak to them, where God can bring healing and restoration and all the things. But so often, you know, when they walk into a church, if they don't feel connected, if they don't feel a part, then their heart is a little bit, maybe not hardened, but maybe tense, maybe stressed out. Maybe they feel anxious. And this is just the perfect thing that like tears down that wall and allows them to feel connected and a part. And so many people that I know well now, I got to know well at that Super Bowl party. What you said for our staff team, it's actually a great moment where we're able to pastor people. Can't tell you how many times I've had a serious, heavy conversation around a table of queso while a football game is happening.
Shout out to queso.
That's right, because we're able to break bread together and then actually be real people. And so it's one of those things in my life that's taught me that there are many things that maybe don't seem very holy, but are actually holy places where God can meet us. Yeah. And I'm super grateful for it. And now what's funny is we've now built other things around that same idea.
We have other things throughout the year that we call them. We refer to them as another Super Bowl party.
Right. We had New Year's Day this year was on a Sunday. And so because of our setup and teardown nature and all the things that we're in, instead we did a brunch. And we did that because of the Super Bowl party.
Yeah.
We were able to say, hey, the win of the Super Bowl party is so good that if we did this on New Year's, and can I tell you, it was.
Yeah.
Was it not? Like New Year's Day, we got to know so many people, a new family, Mark and Crystal, that we got to know really well. There's a bunch of different people that I was able to actually talk to, connect with. And what you said, just be a people. Just laugh. Just have fun.
Yeah.
What'd you do for the holidays? That kind of stuff.
We always remember that we met
Terry and Heather?
Terry and choking. What's happening? We met Terry and Heather.
It's the end of the day, so we're both like a little over-talked.
We met Terry and Heather at the Super Bowl party. You know who else? Now they've moved.
Yeah.
But remember Jeremy and Shelly O'Neill?
Yes.
Shout out old school.
Yes.
But like they came, that's where I first remember.
Got to know them. Yeah, I got to know Heather because she makes these incredible chocolate chip cookies.
Heather, this year, bring them.
She doesn't bring them. What are you even doing? I'm just kidding. But she makes these incredible cookies. She does it like in a way that they're like these perfect round balls. I don't know how she does it, but they're so good. And I remember... Actually, what's funny is I remember coaching somebody else. Somebody else came up to me and said, I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to walk up to people and just talk to them the way you talk to them. Why are you able to just make a friend and do it? And I was like, hey, it's not hard. All you have to do is say hello first and then compliment them. Find something good about them and say something nice. Open up the door of a conversation.
Just start.
And so I said, you know what? Let me just take you with me. And so I went over there and I said, hey, Heather, this is my friend so-and-so. have you tried Heather's cookies? They're incredible because they are, and they were, and they still are, and they better be this week at Super Bowl party.
On the table in the back.
Yeah.
In my office.
A special plate reserved
Baba Barth
just
cookies.
for us.
Shout out to
Tupperware.
Shout out to Christy Gates Hale for that Christmas crack.
Come on. If she didn't give us that every year, I would be so sad.
You know Jason Ayala?
Yes.
Jason, should I not say people's last names?
I don't know. You just
Jason,
did. You're only if you're going to say something good.
Jason leads our usher team.
Yeah.
And so he brought these cookies to everybody.
Oh, yeah.
To
Tiff's Treats.
Tiff's Treats the other day.
Yeah.
But he brought this big bag that says Tiff's Treats. It's a pink bag. And I thought it was one of them sexy shops.
Okay. He must have drove by a sexy shop lately or something.
Tiff's Treats?
You now brought it back up 3 times.
Well, it's because we talked about Primal Cuts.
Oh, okay.
Tiff's Treats?
Yeah. No, it's chocolate chip cookies.
Victoria's Secret is the same thing.
It is, but
so
it's
Jason brings some Tiff's Treats.
Oh my god!
To the Super Bowl party.
Oh my gosh!
This is what happens when we film at 5 o'clock.
Yeah, that's true. But were we? Oh, so then we just talked to Heather, and then now Heather and Terry, they're the greatest people, and we know them so well. And Eden, their daughter, is like leading all kind of junk in the youth department because she brought cookies to the Super Bowl party.
Rachel's going to yell at me this podcast.
It's okay. You're always saying nice things.
You know why?
Oh,
because now I got off the throne of my image. I got off the throne.
See what you did there. That was a good segue.
I did. I took my picture off the throne.
You took your picture off the throne.
And I also, on a Sunday, took my pants off on the stage.
Let's talk about it.
No, you want to? That's a whole other episode.
No, why?
But we're in the series called Get Off the Throne.
What's a whole other episode?
No, I don't know.
Oh.
One of the things is we're in the series Get Off the Throne.
Yeah.
And so far at this point, you did an intro week, nailed it.
Yes.
Talked about God's providence.
That's right.
His might, his authority, his power, and how much he loves us. Then I talked about
his accessibility to
his
us.
accessibility. Then I talked about how we have to take our power off the throne.
Yeah.
Take our power off the throne.
Then you did the picture week where you talked your picture, which is more like image and like the way we project ourselves to those around us. That's when you took your pants off on stage.
Then this week I did get off the throne, get your plan off the throne.
Plan.
And so in picture week, I did a kind of odd illustration.
It was wonderful.
Where I disrobed.
Yeah.
I wore like a real nice outfit.
And then basically went down to just a white t-shirt and basketball shorts.
Yeah.
And literally your bare feet.
Yeah, bare feet.
When you took the socks off, it was like a whole nother level of like, I don't know.
Vulnerability.
Vulnerability. I was going to say depravity, but I don't mean it like, not depravity, but like humanness. Like,
whoa.
Like, oh, I'm just being a raw dude up here telling all the words, like, and all the truth.
Yeah.
So.
And so after you do that, dude, I can say Tiff's Treats.
Yeah, that's true. But it's been a really great series for our people. And as we were talking about it, we're like, there's a lot we could even share just to some of our talking more friends to really help us. And I think it's a lot of conversation. What were you calling it? You were like conversation 2.0 or like extra.
Yeah, but I think that there's more. I think we stay in the Super Bowl party thing.
Oh, you want to go back to that?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you wanted to talk about this.
No, sorry. Is that okay?
No, it's fine.
We can.
No, we'll come back to it later.
But there's more.
Oh, okay. We'll go back to it.
Okay, so what happened is you said we actually do a lot of events like the Super Bowl party to just get our people to connect. And it made me think of movie nights.
Oh, yeah.
We, a couple different times, have done these movie nights at the church, and we just invite people to come and hang out.
Absolutely.
And so we rented the lot. There's this place here in Mansfield that's just like a outdoor performance stage.
It's like an outdoor amphitheater, but it's not really an amphitheater.
And we've rented it and done movie nights. We did one where we showed Sandlot, and then we did one where we showed
What's
Alfalfa.
That one?
Alfalfa.
Oh, I thought you were being the devil. I was like, we did not do a Sam Smith.
What's his name?
Rendition. Alfalfa. That's right.
No, but what's the name of the movie? Little Rascals. We did Little Rascals. I think we've done a Pixar one, and like those are that costs the church money.
Yeah, for sure.
It costs the church money to rent the thing.
We had to rent the place. We had to get all the gear set up. We had to
work the staff.
Yeah.
But at those events,
probably did some popcorn.
But there's nothing spiritual. No. But yet it's deeply spiritual.
Yeah.
About just building community.
Do you pray at least? I can just hear somebody say that. Sure. We'll have a prayer moment where we say, "Hey guys, we're so glad you're here. Let's start off with more.
Lord, help the Goonies.
Yeah.
Find
the treasure faster. I don't know.
Yeah.
But But no, there's not anything planned. There's not really anything other than a welcome and an invite to back to Sunday at the end of the night. But it is one of the greatest things that we do as a community. And I love it because we have a culture of community in our church. Yeah. And I think a lot of churches say that. A lot of people wish they had that. A lot of people want that. But they're unwilling to take those steps to do something different.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't feel spiritual.
It doesn't feel pastory.
Yeah.
But if we're trying to reach people, connect to people that don't necessarily know about Jesus or understand church, what's allowed and what's not allowed and all the things, then maybe we should do some stuff every once in a while that everybody can feel a part of.
Yeah. No, it's so good.
There are these people on YouTube. What if we got into like a YouTube battle with some people? I'm not even going to say their names.
Oh, yeah, no.
There's this husband and wife duo on YouTube.
We're not trying to get in a battle with them because they already don't like me because I'm a girl.
Oh yeah.
They're very anti-women in ministry.
Well, they don't like me because Because
you're a dude.
The whole conversation about this is my friend. But there's these people that have somehow snuck into my algorithm on YouTube.
Yeah.
And they are people that
because your phone is always listening.
That bash other churches.
Yeah.
Maybe all churches. That they're
just be careful.
They're just a YouTube channel that they're just bashing all these other people.
Yeah.
And so
they're doing it in the name of calling out like heretics and like calling out false teachers. Yeah. But they're very much just bashing anyone and everyone.
But they had one that came to my feed and I clicked on and watched, it's like an hour-long video. Yeah. I watched 3 or 4 minutes of it and fast forward around and stuff. And they called this pastor a clown. And they have his picture and they turn him like different colors and stuff. And they say this pastor, his church, he's a clown leading a circus. And they've cut all these sermon clips of him doing funny faces or like dancing or sermon props. And they've clipped them all together and they mock him and they call him a clown. And it's funny because as I was listening to what they were saying, I was like, he's doing the right thing then.
Yeah.
Because he's not trying to reach you.
Right. You already love God.
Well,
you already say you love God.
You already have become a Pharisee.
Right.
And he's trying to, this guy's trying to connect to people that don't want to come into a stuffy environment.
Right. No, I saw a post literally yesterday of somebody that screenshot and said, I went to a local place of worship and hoping to connect with God and receive blah, 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 blah. And what did I find instead? Disneyland. And they went on to talk about the lights and the fog and the smoke and the this and the music. And then it was like, Lord, may we repent for not, just worshiping you with spirit and in truth and with our heart. Okay, you're using scripture. Cool. But that place wasn't meant for her. That music wasn't designed for you. Yeah. The music was designed for people who walk in and feel uneasy and unsure about this weird thing where we're all standing in one direction at a stage singing praises to something. They're missing the point.
They're missing the point. And that for us anyways, I'm like, man, let's do church.
Right.
So the people that are uncomfortable in a stuffy church environment will at least want to come in.
Well, at least.
And then when we've had people say stuff before about the fog and the lights.
Yeah.
And, I don't say this to them, but what I think is, well, you're not going to like heaven very much. Because you know what heaven's made of?
Right.
Jewels of different colors.
Right.
And do you know what
Streets of gold.
Streets of gold. And do you know what Jesus is? He's the light of the world.
Right.
You don't think that heaven is going to be illuminated full of other colors?
Right.
And do you know what the Bible says? That when God enters, that his tabernacle is filled with smoke from his presence.
Right.
Now, I'm not saying that we have a fog machine replicating the Holy Spirit.
No.
That's not what I'm saying.
No.
I'm just saying, like, come on, y'all.
Right.
Do I have to wear a suit? Do we have to have pews? Do we have to have bad music?
Right.
Like,
Do
maybe we can
have to be on stage.
The what?
The American flag have to be on stage.
Do we have to have plastic plants on the stage?
Right, exactly.
Like,
what are we doing?
That's just tradition.
Right.
In how old am I? In 40 years, when I'm 80.
Yeah.
In 40 years, I might walk into churches and not recognize at all what they're doing.
They might have like those drone things that make the like emblems in the sky. You know what I'm talking about? Have you seen that? They make the pictures in the sky. Maybe they'll have that. I don't know. I'm trying to think of the most absurd thing I can think of.
Like right now, we have lights and smoke machines and guitar solos.
Yeah.
And pastors using props and wearing Nikes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But in 40 years, maybe it'll be something drastically different.
Right.
Or maybe we'll go back and be very liturgical.
Yeah.
I don't know. Those are all just strategies and like cultural connection points. And so if your church has colored lighting, maybe you should also have a non-spiritual party.
Right.
Maybe we've done, now this is Conor McGregor's UFC fighter.
Oh, I was like, I don't know.
I get nervous to say some of this because I know that people are going to hate it, but I don't care. Conor McGregor had a huge UFC fight.
Yeah.
It's when he fought Mayweather.
Yeah. It was the big fight.
Huge fight. So
Yeah.
you know what I did? I rented it at the church.
Yeah.
And I told all the men, invite as many guys as you can. And we packed that place out.
Right.
And we watched the Conor McGregor fight.
Yeah.
Now, did they have beer commercials?
For sure.
Yep, they did.
Yeah.
Did they have some GoDaddy commercials? Yep, they did.
Right.
But do you know what else was happening? Our male leaders, pastors, elders were walking around meeting guys that would never step foot in a church.
No, absolutely.
That would never even meet somebody who loves Jesus.
Absolutely.
It was a mission field.
Right.
It was a mission field. Churches give all this money to missions. And do you know what they do over in other countries? They hold events. Mm-hmm. They hold events and they give out candy and pizza and they buy bounce houses and they do these things in other countries that over here we call unspiritual.
Right. No.
Come on, man.
It's silly.
Throw a party at your church.
That's right. Find space for it. You know, I think about it like we're talking about it corporately, but I think about it individually. That like there's lots of times when I've had a coffee conversation with somebody that's just getting to know them or just seeing who they are, but in fact in that moment this huge spiritual thing happens. We may not even be necessarily talking about Jesus specifically, but just another mom to mom. How are you feeling with your kid?
Yes.
Or what were you doing? Or how did you solve this stress or this anxiety in your home or these different moments? And then I think about my own life, times with God where, man, on a Sabbath, I'm not spending every moment of my Sabbath Friday just in prayer and in holy time with God, but I'm spending time doing things that give me pleasure. And then in that pleasure, I find pleasure with God. And I'm like, I think for so many people who would bash that, I'm like, no, wait a minute. There are times when you can tell and identify that you've felt God's presence doing something not spiritual.
Yes.
Then why corporately would we not then teach the same thing? Why would we not then say, hey, if I can know that God was with me in a conversation with a friend when we're just talking about our kid that keeps getting written up or bad grades or whatever, then I can trust and know that God's going to do the same thing in a big group setting in our church. And so it's one of my favorite things we do, and I think it's hugely important in the culture of who we are, at least for what God's called us to do, to help people feel at home in a place. They might never try a life group. That's what I can hear somebody's pushback of like, but doesn't your church have a life group? Isn't that a place for them to go?
Yeah, but this is an on-ramp to life groups.
Yeah, but they may never, do you know how intimidating it is to knock on the door of somebody you've never been to their house before?
Right.
But if you have the opportunity at first to go and say, hey, I went to this big group. Our youth leaders just did this last night. I think it was brilliant that for the kickoff of life groups, they've historically had trouble getting more than like a few kids to go to life groups at a time in the youth group. And
percentage-wise from like our attendance.
And so they said, you know what, instead this week, let's do it at our campus. Let's give them basically like a trial run of what life group is going to look like.
Some FOMO action.
So that they can see what it feels like, know what it is, already meet some kids in a place that they're already comfortable. It's already where they have youth every Wednesday and whatnot. And they had a huge percentage show up, and then they broke them up into the groups they would be in for their life group. And they were able to see,
this will be fun.
This will be a good time.
At so-and-so's house.
This person will be there. This person will be there. This person. What a fun time I'm going to have. These are my leaders. I already know who my leaders are.
Yeah.
And I'm like, adults are just kids with more money and
Yeah.
a little bit older.
Yeah.
And so what a great opportunity to bring them here and go, oh, this church and these people are fun. Oh, that was not an awkward thing. They did not make me quote scripture while I was watching the football game.
Yes.
Like what kind of...
No pressure.
Right. There's no pressure here. Oh, then maybe I can go to... They just invited me to their house for a life group. Maybe now I can show up and actually have a good time. And so it's an on-ramp. That's a great way of saying
it's an old saying. They have to belong before they believe.
Right.
And it's just a belonging point where they can make a friend.
Oh,
the other
sure.
piece is that, man, it's just fun. You build memories.
Yeah. Yeah.
Laughing together, watching a funny commercial. Or one of Whitney and I's first friendship memories happened at a Super Bowl party. First year we did it.
Oh, you're right.
Do you remember it?
Oh, you're right. Are we going to get to tell this story?
We can.
Yeah.
I'm saying.
You're right.
It's like we planned it. We didn't though.
No, we didn't. But
one of the reasons you and I are friends is because we have these common memories together.
Yeah, yeah.
And one of you and I's
common memory.
This is one of our core memories.
Yes.
In our friendship.
Absolutely. So we are at the Super Bowl party. I think it's their first one, right?
Yeah.
And people are bringing food, and they're like we have like round tables for the food, and then everybody else is at other tables, and then like chairs where they can watch the game. And so Aaron and Truston are way up at the front. They're like watching it, just trying.
I'm
to
like in the bro zone, trying to connect to these new dudes.
That's right. Get to know them, and
I'm like making up football junk. I don't know at all what I'm talking about.
I remember I'm talking to this lady. I'm meeting her, and she's so nice, and I'm like, oh. This lady is going to be all in. She's going to be my friend. We're going to get connected. This is so good. And she's like a fancy family, like, you know, you get those fancy families in your church.
Yeah.
You're like, oh yeah.
Now don't spill all the beans. Just a little bit of the beans.
No, just a little bit. But all of a sudden, out of the corner of my eye while I'm talking to her, I can see something moving below me. You know how like your peripheral, you can see something, but you...
Yeah, so
I'm like, don't look away. Don't break eye contact. Keep talking to her. But then all of a sudden I like look, and then I'm like, what am I looking at? And so I look back at her, but I'm so distracted that all of a sudden I have to end the conversation and say, I'm sorry. I'll be right back.
Now, the way that you set it up when you do like a potluck vibes is you have your like hot table.
That's right.
And then you have your cold table, and then you have your desserts and your drinks.
Yeah.
So you were standing next to the hot table.
The hot table, the
where
warm
people
table.
put the like meatballs
The
and the
crock pots
briskets.
they got heating pads.
So Whitney sees something moving
out of the corner of my eye
on the hot table.
Yeah.
And so she runs up to me.
Yeah, you and Aaron are up there. Because at that time I know you, but we're not like close. So it's like you and Aaron. So I'm to both of you like, hey guys.
Hey, I need you to come back here right now.
Yeah.
And Aaron's invested in the game.
Yeah.
But I don't really care.
Right.
And I'm like, what? And you're like, I need you to come back here.
Right now. And I think
she
I
leans
gave
down,
you a little bit of what it was.
She leans down and she says something to me. And I look at her like, see, I'm building the suspense.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? Are you serious? And
but I don't think you believed me to the intensity that it was.
No.
I think you thought I was being a girl.
Whitney says to me, there are some bugs on the table. And I'm like, what?
And you think that I'm saying there's 2 flies flying around.
She says, I need you to get up
right now.
There's some bugs.
I'm also trying to not draw attention to the situation.
Because people will freak out.
Because we do not need everyone hysteria,
So I go back there and beeline to the hot table.
I'm not trying to yell fire in a room.
I beeline there back to the table, and I'm telling y'all, Indiana Jones level bugs on this food table. I'm talking there are hundreds of roaches.
The reason why
there are not 7 roaches.
Correct.
There are hundreds of live moving roaches
suddenly
erupting onto every area of the table. And so I see it. Whitney sees it. I think one other was...
It might have been Amy Chin. I don't know who it was.
Somebody else is standing there. And so we grab the tablecloth.
Yeah. Well, you mostly. But
I grab the tablecloth. Now, people have brought their brisket and their chicken wings.
Their grandma's prized like sandwiches that everyone is going to be amazed
And they're like
at.
nice glass dishes they're trying to flex on you, and they're china. I grabbed the
because
tablecloth.
it is just getting worse by the moment. That's the thing. I think maybe when we got there was only 50, but by the time you stood there for 2 minutes, there were hundreds.
And we're about to tell you why. I grab the tablecloth and I pick it all up and I throw it over my shoulder like Santa's sack.
You did.
And I carry it out
the front door.
and we throw out the side door where the dumpster was of this rental place, and we throw it down. And I'm telling you, there are bugs
everywhere.
And so we leave it out there. We don't know what to do.
Right.
You can't clean this.
No, you can't.
So we go back in.
It's all ruined.
It's ruined.
It's ruined.
So we go back in there, and people are like,
well, let's just remind ourselves that we have just made it quite the commotion. As quietly as we could.
People go back in and they're like, hey, where'd you put my food? Where are my pigs in a blanket at? And we're like, something happened. Something happened. We had to move it out. Hey, look at the cheesecake table. So anyways.
Hey, look over there.
So anyways.
We find a lady.
Whose
situation it was in.
Godly. You're not going to believe that this is true. But my sister's here telling you that it's true.
And
so we find the lady, and she asks,
proven that I'm not an exaggerator, that I was not exaggerating.
At the end of the night, at the end of the event, this lady starts asking around, has anyone seen my crock pot? I can't find my crock pot. Now, everybody else, their stuff's just gone.
Disappeared.
You don't get it like, oh, you brought a pan? I'm
sorry.
Sorry,
we threw it in the dumpster.
Your Pyrex is
It was
lost.
infested with roaches. Do you want it back?
But this lady is the only one who has a plug-in device, and she wants her crock pot back.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I'm sorry, but there was like a whole bunch of bugs that had got on the table. And she goes like this. Ooh, I was afraid
that would happen.
Again. This lady, she said
again.
I was afraid.
I was standing right there. He's not lying.
That would happen again. And I said, what do you mean? And she said, well, I thought I cleaned it out. But, what I did is I made chili on my stove in a pot. And then I put the chili in the crock pot. And then I brought it here to the church. And then we plugged it in on the little cord that you had there. And I think that what happened is when you plugged it back in, it heated up. And the colony of roaches,
the creepy crawlies
that were living in this crock pot in her garage, came to life and had to escape the heat of the crock pot.
But it had already happened before. Roaches don't die. They don't die. It's a thing.
So this had happened to this lady before, and she decided to keep the crock pot. She decided to keep the crock pot. And can you imagine the depravity of her living?
There, you got to use that correctly.
There, yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Can you believe the depravity of her living situation that this was in her house moments ago on her kitchen counter? This moments ago was on her kitchen counter. My eyes starting to twitch as I tell the story. At the amount of roaches that were coming on the thing looking like Indiana Jones. Okay.
So we learned in that day that we could trust each other to not freak out, but to handle some very crazy crap.
And to lie to a lady if we need to. So we straight were lying to. The table leg fell out. I don't know what happened. Sorry.
There was just some stuff that spilled and we had to clean it.
Because you can't plant a church and let everybody also think that your church is dirty.
Right, or gross and disgusting.
And so now what we do when we have potlucks, which is very rarely, we have somebody standing there assigned.
This was definitely my role.
This is what he's wrote with a card that we fold in half, so it's like a little teepee, and we write on it who brought it and what it is.
Yeah. That way, if stuff starts crawling out of something, we know exactly who to go to right then and kick them out and never let them back again. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, well, no, but the other reason, I don't know if I should even say this.
What?
The other reason that we do it is so that you can know if the people that brought it are clean and if you want to go and eat that thing.
Yeah, I don't know if you should say that.
Should we edit that part out?
just be clean. No, I'm saying
every once in a while. Listen, every church has somebody. Every church has a good-hearted person that don't got no sense. They don't got no sense.
They don't know.
You know what you need to do? Buy a bag of Oreos.
That's true.
Don't cook nothing. If you haven't cut your fingernails in 4 years, don't bring nothing to the potluck. If you got more dandruff on your shirt than shirt on your shirt, then don't bring nothing to the potluck.
That's true.
If your car smells like raccoon butt, don't bring nothing to the potluck.
Hey, It's true. Don't bring it. But if you do bring it, let us be the ones to throw it away for you.
Hey, that's a good story.
Hey, it's one of our best stories.
Hey, you know,
and every time we get to tell it, people actually are like, are you really telling the truth? And the good part is we were both there, so we can both say, no, they're actually telling the truth.
If we ever get on the Basement podcast,
that's the story we're going to tell?
We're telling that story.
100%.
Hey, tag him, Easton.
You tag him, then tell him.
Tag him the end of this. Tell him to fast forward a moment, whatever. I'm telling you, and we got a bunch more.
Hey, golly.
Ministry's fun. But that moment that we just told happened at a non-spiritual event.
Right.
And it drove a pastor.
For life.
It bonded a pastor to a volunteer.
Yeah, for life.
That we...
No, you're right. In that moment, you learned
worked hard together. Yeah. I could trust you. Then our families laughed about it later.
Yeah.
And it became probably our first like big, hard, crazy laugh.
Yeah.
As two couples together.
As like, oh my gosh, can you believe we survived that? Also, because we didn't let anyone know. We didn't shame her. We didn't like make her feel embarrassed. Like we took care of it well. And so we knew that like, oh yeah, we can keep making a church.
I straight lied to her. She still wanted it back.
Oh yeah, you told her it was gone.
I told her I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry. I threw in the dumpster and I saw it break. Not true. It was still sitting out. With the bugs were feasting.
Oh my god!
But I lied because she wants it back.
No, we're not giving it back to you.
No, ma'am. You have children, ma'am.
We care about your kids. They
should have called Adult Protective Services.
In their bellies. Ugh, it's
guys,
so gross.
That was a good one. Love y'all so much. So listen.
Okay,
here's the moral of the story.
Yeah.
Do something fun.
That's true.
Do something beyond just spiritual, beyond just leadership. Have a party, man.
Yeah. And
that's how you really get to know each other.
It can be very spiritual.
Here is holy.
Yes, exactly. And we'll talk about the Get Off the Throne soon, though, so they have to.
You had the greatest intro.
I did. I thought I was doing good.
Dude, you bobbed and weaved, and then I was like,
and
nope.
then you were like, I don't want to talk about that. That's fine.
All right.
We love
you
y'all.
guys. See ya.